Hey everyone, welcome to the Everyday Women series, celebrating the women who tell our stories. My name is Adrian Broadway, and I'm going to be your speaker for today. My theme is about finding myself again while walking in God's purpose. So, when I saw this opportunity, first of all, I want to say thank you, Angel, for this opportunity. I'm beyond excited for myself and the other women that have the opportunity to be on this platform. So I want to tell you that first of all. And then I wanted to share something that when I first saw the post for this opportunity, I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I can't do this. No, what if I say the wrong thing? No, it's not my time. But then Angel went on live one day and I sat there and I listened to it and I really heard her and I felt God saying the same thing, that it's time. It's time for you to tell your story. It's time to share your story with other women because there's other women out there just like you and they need to hear your story. And if you can make a difference in someone else's life, then that's what you need to do. So we're going to get started. Hopefully I have some notes over here. Hopefully I won't have to veer to them, but we'll see what happens. But a little bit about me. I am from Martinez, Georgia. I graduated from Evans High School a long, long time ago, 1992. I was raised in a family where our house was divided as far as religion. And I decided to follow one of my parents' beliefs. So I did that ever since, from the time I was born until a certain time, I was that belief. Also growing up, while I was in high school, trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life, my father encouraged me to do two things. He said, either you're going to go to college to become an RN, or you're going to do something with business management. So I was like, okay, that sounds pretty good. I'll try it. So I really wanted to do RN because I felt like I wanted to help people. So that's what I chose. So when I graduated from high school, I went to Augusta College, now it's Augusta State University. But I went there, I attended for 1 year. After 1 year, I dropped out. I had a boyfriend that I was living with at that time. And due to my beliefs, I was encouraged that, of course, that was not the right thing to do, to be living with someone when you're not married, and you needed to do it the right way. So we decided to get married. And at the age of 18, I was married. So 2 years later, we had our first son, Drake. And when I had my son Drake, during our marriage and all that good stuff, we struggled like a lot of people. I hadn't finished school. I was working jobs around his father. His father would come home and then I would go to work because I always wanted to be able to stay home with my children. So until they were old enough to speak. So if I ever left them, I knew what was going on. So I had an opportunity to stay home with Drake until he was about 3 years old. So then I decided, you know what? I want to go back to school. I want to continue nursing, but I can't afford college right now. So what can I do? So I decided to enroll at Augusta Tech to get my LPN certification. And I did that when Drake was 3. He also enrolled at Augusta Tech with me in the daycare program there. And so I obtained my certification as an LPN in 1999. After 1999, I worked as an LPN in long-term care. I loved my job. I was at the bedside. I could interact with residents. I made a difference in their lives, and I knew I was doing the thing I was supposed to do. During those 7 years as an LPN, we decided to have another child. We wanted a boy and a girl, but it didn't work out that way. I ended up having twin boys later on. And so there were 7 years between my oldest son and my twins. So again, once my twins were born, I stayed home and I worked around their father's schedule. When he came home, then I would go to work as a nurse. And continue on just trying to do the best we can to make ends meet. So after when the twins were 3 years old, I decided to do the same thing. I want to go back. I want to get my RN license, my RN degree. So when they were 3 years old, I went back to Augusta State and I obtained my degree as an RN. We were a very busy family. We were going everywhere. My children were involved in sports. I was a mother, a sister, a nurse, a teacher, a friend. I was everything, but in the mix of that, I was losing myself some. At the age of 30, I made a major decision in my life that would change my life forever. I decided to walk away from the religion or the belief that I've known for 30 years, and that's all I knew. So I walked away because I felt at that time I didn't have a relationship with God. It was more, I was doing something to make someone else happy. So I walked away from there. And it was very hard because at that point, my children were a part of it. Their father was a part of it, but we left. And in that process, a lot of friends, family, people that I knew all my life, those relationships were dissolved. And I had to move on from that. And I had to figure out, this is what you chose. And at that time, you don't know what will happen, but there was a reason for me making that choice. So through that whole choice, I started to want to find God. I wanted to build a relationship myself with him. I didn't want it to be forced. So that's what I started doing. I started taking the time to learn about him, to listen to different motivating or religious things on YouTube or whatever it was. I was longing for that. So that's what I started doing, me and my family. Well, in 2016, I actually end up getting a divorce after 23 years of marriage. So when that happened, that was another big change in my life. It was really, really big. And, here I am out on my own. And, but I felt like, I've lost myself. I had lost myself just through getting married at 18 and having children. I was like the best mother I thought I could be. I did everything I could for my boys and I wanted them to have a perfect life. And I put them first all the time. And I don't regret that. I put a lot of people first. A lot of times, and I don't regret that. But after getting a divorce, I continued on as an RN. But in my RN stages, once I became an RN, I worked for the hospital for 3 years, and then I got into management. I've been in management for the last 14 years as a director of nursing. But in that role, I started like I was missing something. That bedside care wasn't there anymore for those patients. I was more into management and pushing papers and figuring out numbers, but I still knew I was making a difference in my staff's lives and the residents' lives, but I was not happy. I didn't know what my purpose was. So I decided when I was an RN to open up a medical staffing company because I wanted to do something for myself. I wanted to make a difference in the CSRA and the world with the staff or the nurses, RNs or whatever, LPN, CNAs, whoever I was providing. I wanted to make a difference wherever they went in. If they went into a nursing home, they were a representation of me and I wanted to make a difference. And so that's why I started the staffing company. And my mother passed away almost 2 years ago from Alzheimer's, and I wanted to have her legacy live on. So my motto is delivering one request on time, helping you, and that is my mother's name, Dorothy. So I started the staffing company. Was it easy? No. Am I a billionaire? No. Did anybody really want to help me? No. So through that journey, that's when I realized, like, hey, you're blessed because you do have a lot of resources that a lot of other women don't have. But a lot of times when I thought or seek other people's um, help or knowledge, it wasn't always there. They were not willing to give it to me because they viewed me more as a competitor. And why am I going to share my information with you? So through that experience, I said, Adrian, I'm going to do this different. Like, I'm going to help. If someone asks you, how do you start a staffing company? Help. That's what they need. So, still doing all that, I still felt like something was missing. I'm like, what is missing? Something's not there. I'm still missing something. God, like, I feel like I have a purpose, but I don't know what it is. So about a year ago, myself, along with two other co-founders, we started a group called Glow, Go Live Out Wishes. And it is a business now. And the reason we started that was to empower women, to help women, to encourage women. If they needed anything, any type of resources, we're going to be there for them. And we may not have all the answers, but we're going to be there for them. So we started Glow about a year and a half ago. And through that whole process, that's where I finally have found myself. I found my purpose. Everyone sees me and they're like, you have the most positive energy. You are always so happy all the time. But sometimes they didn't know inside I was dying. I wasn't happy. I was just putting on a smile. So now I know my purpose and I'm stepping out. I have found myself again. So I am here to motivate anyone that is listening to this. 2023 is your year. Do not be afraid. If you're thinking, if you have something in your mind, that's a vision. You need to act on that. You need to move forward. You need to pray to God and tell him you're ready to walk in his purpose. Even if you're afraid, get up and do it. Go, because he's going to walk all the way right beside you. I'm afraid. There's a lot of things I need to learn. When it comes to the nursing part of it, I can sit here all day long and explain it to you and not be afraid at all. But when it comes to owning a business and this part of it, it's new to me. And there's a lot of things I still don't know. But you know what? I'm going to share whatever I have, and I'm going to make a difference in this world. And I am here to help other women find their purpose, learn about God, and whatever it is that needs to happen. So I really appreciate this afternoon. I thank you so much for stopping by and hearing my story. I hope that this makes a difference in your life. That you strive to be a better purpose and find your purpose. Also, I want to let you know, for anyone that is listening, again, my name's Adrian Broadway. I'm the owner of At Your Request, and I'm the owner of Glow, Go Live Out Wishes. If you ever need anything, if you ever need a talk, you need support, you need a hug, you have a question, reach out to me, because that's my purpose. My purpose is helping other women, and I love it. And I love to see another lady win. I'm your biggest supporter. I'm your biggest fan. So again, thank you so much for taking this time out of your day to stop by. And I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. Bye.